This is the Regal Imports News for February 2015. On December 26, 2014, Rappaport slipped one by the industry. While Western diamond dealers were celebrating their holidays, Rappaport dropped his complete diamond price list between 2 and 4%. The decreases were not well reported, and by the time dealers came back from their holidays, his new list had already been printed, and few were aware of any changes that had occurred. Now, it wasn't as though Rappaport had not warned of pending changes, but let's just say the timing was well conceived. The same diamond melodrama continues, with polished prices still weak and rough prices still too high. Rob Bates interviewed a site holder who told him that diamond manufacturing is a money-losing proposition, and I don't care who you are and where you are manufacturing, being a site holder is a fool's game, end of quote. The January site saw site holders reject 20 to 30% of their allocations in spite of slightly lower pricing. Under current market conditions, it is cheaper and more prudent to trade in polished diamonds than to manufacture from rough. Martin Rappaport said that too much money goes to the mining companies who deny profits to distributors and retailers. No one is supporting generic diamond demand. The mining companies are too sharp for their own good. They are takers, not givers, and are destroying future diamond demand in return for short-term profits, end of quote. Rappaport believes that diamonds are definitely losing luxury share. Specific to the Canadian market, lower polished diamond prices have been more than offset by the strong US dollar. When the Bank of Canada lowered the prime rate, the Canadian dollar immediately lost 10% in value. As a consequence, the price of all imported products, including diamonds, went up by a similar amount. The Canadian dollar had already lost approximately 3% in November and December. The November and December changes had already neutralized the December changes to the Rappaport list. So Canada must absorb a more than 10% lift in the cost of polished diamonds. I have found it necessary to quote on diamonds not currently in my inventory in US dollars because I feel that the Canadian dollar is far from stable. I can still remember when $1 US cost $1.64 Canadian. Yikes. Moving away from the dollar, I would like to take a moment to relate a conversation I had during an evening of tasting single malt Scotch. I was sitting at a table with 5 other gentlemen, 2 older than me on my left and 3 younger than me on my right. As I was sipping my second Scotch, I noticed that the older men were just sitting back enjoying the evening, while the 3 younger men were busy with their Scotch apps documenting tasting notes. I introduced myself to the gentlemen on both sides, but I was really interested in pursuing a conversation with the younger technophiles. I asked the gentleman directly to my right how old he was, and he replied 29. I asked him what he was doing at this event, because Scotch tasting is an old man's sport. He laughed and told me that he had in excess of 150 bottles of Scotch in his collection. Obviously obsessed. He asked me my profession, and I told him that I dealt in diamonds. Now here comes the relevant part of the conversation. He immediately responded, "Diamonds are a commodity, right?" To which I responded, "No." And I went on to explain that gold is a commodity because a 24-karat bar of gold has a consistent price, whereas there are variables in diamonds that do not allow for commodity classification. Then I realized that this guy was the perfect guy to interview on the buying habits of the millennial, as he fit the profile perfectly. I asked him about his shopping preferences and then tried to relate his answers to a diamond purchase. He told me that his generation is most comfortable playing computer games, and if they were to think of the ideal shopping experience, it would be like playing a video game. At this point in the conversation, a light bulb went on. I understood where he was coming from. He said, "It's all about the game, the chase and the checklist, the search and the price." Emotion had nothing to do with his ideal shopping experience. He wanted to play the game and win the prize. It didn't matter whether he was buying a diamond or a baseball glove. It was all about the game and the challenge. My new understanding was profound and disconcerting. It brought me closer to the millennial mindset, and I didn't like it. The millennial is more comfortable working with abstracts in the virtual reality than browsing in a retail store. When shopping for a diamond ring, the virtual experience might start by isolating an easily available mount and defining a diamond quality range. The game is won by assembling a workable strategy to match mount to diamond and price. This is how the millennial thinks, and this is their comfort zone. The development of CAD technology and halo ring models fits this game strategy perfectly. I am hearing of more and more instances when millennials change the common rules of diamond buying and reach their spending limit with an expensive branded mount. They then purchase a cubic as the center stone. The emotion around buying a diamond is simply diminishing. Branded ring suppliers are encouraging this behavior by espousing that buying a mount is the most important contingent of an engagement ring sale, and that the diamond is very much a secondary experience. Retailers seem to be willing to buy into this method of selling, as they are finding diamond sales more difficult and competitive. De Beers professes that the way to retain luxury market share is by branding, and now individual diamond brands claim to be superior to generic diamonds. Buy this diamond because it is environmentally friendly. Buy this diamond because it is ethically sourced. Buy this diamond because it has a special grading or cut parameter. Buy this diamond because it has a laser, and without that laser mark, well, who knows? Each diamond brand proclaims, "Trust us, because we provide something designed for the sole purpose of making a consumer weary of other diamonds." This diamond branding strategy is effectively fracturing the demand for diamonds in general by stressing diamond negatives while promoting brand positives. Much of this type of marketing is very short-sighted and is having the cumulative effect of providing a multitude of reasons why not to buy diamonds. Going back to gaming, the millennial generation is so comfortable working with video game technology that some banks have begun to experiment with online banking through the Microsoft Xbox console. Be that as it may, there are many challenges to keeping ahead of buying trends and the status of diamonds in the luxury market. Of primary concern right now to the Canadian jeweler is the value of the Canadian dollar. It presents a good news, bad news scenario. The good news is that current purchased inventory is cheap. The bad news is that replacing that inventory is going to be expensive. And that's the Regal Imports news, and I thank you very much for watching.